Japanese joint venture company, the PMC community always strives to recreate the Omotenashi spirit, which has been gaining increased attention overseas for its spirit of thoughtfulness and fine attention to detail in Vietnam. Omotenashi is not only about etiquette, but also about exceeding expectations and anticipating the needs of other people in advance. To enable all PMC members to have a deeper understanding of the Omotenashi spirit, all of PMC's managers and partners have taken part in a tea ceremony today, during which they learned and practiced the intricacies of the Japanese tea ceremony. Omotenashi is seen taking place in the Japanese tea service, one of the most famous cultural activities in Japan. The tea room is decorated with a hanging scroll that provides the appropriate spiritual atmosphere for serving tea, while flowers are arranged very simply in a vase to represent their natural environment. The tea used for the ceremony is called matcha, a high-quality green tea that is finely crushed into a powder. There are 4 key concepts which the Japanese tea ceremony honors. These concepts are wa, kei, sei, and jaku. Wa stands for harmony among people and nature. Kei signifies respect for others. Sei means purity of heart and mind, and jaku represents tranquility. When entering the tea ceremony, guests should wash their hands in an attempt to symbolically get rid of the dirt from the outside world. They are expected to throw away any irrelevant thoughts and simply be present in the moment, in a state of calm, ready to enter into the tea ceremony as their perfect or ideal self. The actual preparation begins when the host brings in the tools and cleans them in front of the guests before using them. The cleaning of the tools is elegantly carried out by the host. There are no unnecessary gestures or words during the ceremony. A sense of harmony is created from the cleaning of the tools to the behavior and responses of the guests. When the tools are perfectly clean and aesthetically displayed, the preparation of matcha begins. After adding the powder, hot water is added to the bowl and the mixture is whisked into a thin paste. More water is added afterwards. Before the tea is poured, Japanese sweets are served to harmonize the sweetness with the freshness and slight bitterness of the tea. The host presents the prepared tea bowl to the guests and they exchange bowls. The first guest admires the bowl, then rotates it before taking a drink. Before the tea or sweets are shared, the guest bows to the next guest to excuse himself for going first. The guest wipes the edge of the tea bowl, then offers it to the next guest who repeats these gestures. These gestures are repeated until the bowl reaches the last guest, who passes it back to the host. After all the guests have taken a drink of tea, the host cleans the bowl. The host also rinses and cleans the tea whisk and scoop again. The guests need to observe the tools used in the ceremony after they have been cleaned as a sign of respect and admiration towards the host. They carefully and respectfully examine how the utensils are handled with extreme caution by using a cloth. Lastly, the host gathers the tools and the guests exit with another bow to complete the ceremony. And here are some feelings that Miss Naoko, who is the instructor of the ceremony, shared with us. Well, thank you for talking to me. It's very nice to meet you.
Thank you very much.
Tell us, what was your role during the tea ceremony today?
Today I worked as a host in tea ceremony and also the lecturer what is the tea ceremony.
Great. And this was your first time in Vietnam, I believe?
Exactly,
doing it here, yes?
This is the first time in Southeast Asia. So.
Okay, so how is it perhaps different from doing it back home in Tokyo?
First, nobody knows tea ceremony, and the utensils are restricted.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's been tough to prepare everything, just like Japan. However, because of some very good assistance, it was successful.
Okay.
I think, like.
Super. What was your favorite part or your most interesting part during today's tea ceremony?
The reaction of the audience. Apparently, they don't have any experience in tea ceremony, so their reaction is very fresh to me.
Great. Well, coming from someone who doesn't know much about Japanese culture, can you tell us why this is such an important part of the Japanese culture?
So Japanese culture, in Japanese culture, we put importance on the non-verbal communication, like bow. So in tea ceremony, bow is very important action because it shows when tea ceremony begins and ends, and it also shows the respect to other people without words.
Okay, so everything is very physical, a lot of body language and gestures used. Okay, super. And I believe it is green tea that is in the cups. Okay, you mentioned that it was in the past used as medicine. Is it still used today for medicinal practices or purposes?
No, yes. So formally, it is not medicine at all. Because we can buy green tea in supermarket, not drugstore. Okay. But we believe that green tea is very good for our health. So we very often have a green tea for our health.
For your health.
Not as just a beverage.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Great. And tell us, do you feel that today's tea ceremony helped to enhance the general spirit of the guests and of the audience here today?
Hopefully, but I believe that my lecture is a little bit difficult or complicated for the audience without any background of Japan. So, but I hope that it is some my lecture or today's workshop could be the clue or tips for them to understand Japanese spirit or Japanese spirit. Yeah.
Okay, great. And hopefully it can be used to strengthen ties between the companies here at PMC.
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for talking to us. I feel very honoured to have been part of this tea ceremony.
I'm sure I appreciated this chance, this opportunity, because this is my first time to have such a big tea ceremony workshop overseas.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
This introduction of the Japanese tea ceremony to PMC's members has come to an end, but everyone thoroughly enjoyed every moment, cherishing their unique experiences as they look forward to the next gathering. We feel and understand that the concept of omotenashi in the tea ceremony is not just to drink tea, but rather to have a special moment with the guests. There is no master, no servant. There is rather equality, simplicity, care, and reciprocation. A concept that deals with the human spirit rather than materialism.